Last week, you guys loved the light painting results, but I got a lot of questions asking exactly how do I do this at home. So today, we're doing a full step-by-step guide on tabletop light painting. I'm using drinks as my main subject again because I'm on a mission, but remember the technique is the same, whether it's a watch, a toy, a flower, and yes, all of the shots from last week were already accepted to the stock agencies. No sales yet, but in time, I'm sure they'll come. If you're new here, my name is Charles Wollertz, this is Wollertz Photography, and here we talk about all things photography, but always with a little bit of stock photography in mind. Why stock photography, you ask? Because it's fun. Now, the gear, what do you need? You don't need a huge studio or nothing. I mean, literally a camera on a tripod. The tripod is essential, that's non-negotiable. You're gonna need a light source. I brought a couple today. I have a couple of flashlights depending on how bright I need it to be. And I have my RGB light from Newark. This is just a little $20 RGB light. And a small flashlight RGB. We need light modifiers. How do we modify the light? So, I borrowed a baggie from Bambi. And I also have other ones that I like to use. See, this one is semi-translucent and it's pretty large, so I can fold it and bend it and give me different textures. I also have these little thank you bags that are white and it has a red where it says thank you. So that also gives me a little bit more color in a dull scene. And then there's a green, one of those natural bags that might help me in a different way as well. Now, that's diffusion. Light source. Now the next thing we're gonna need is complete darkness. So I've shut all the windows, I closed everything. It's gonna be pitch black in here when I'm done talking to you. The extra things we're gonna need is maybe a remote trigger. If you don't have one, that's fine, just use a 2 or 10-second timer. And another thing that's extra is dark clothing. So I brought a black jacket and I even have black gloves. One of the viewers reminded me from last week's video, so thank you. The idea is that if you have white clothes or something, your light might pick up that clothing and now that's gonna interfere with the shoot. But if you have black gloves, black shirt, just blacked out, the light is not gonna be as reflective on your clothing, so you're not gonna ruin the shot that way. Now, I also have a black acrylic tabletop or background. I think it's about maybe 16 by 16, 24 by 24. It's reflective acrylic on one side and non-reflective on the other. I like the reflections. I think that adds a lot to the light painting. When you get the lights coming in the background and they reflect here back towards the camera, that looks really good. The thing is, you don't have to use a black reflective background. You could use a mirror, you could use a tabletop, and that's gonna give you different textures and different glows. So whatever background you have, that's gonna be awesome. Now, the gear challenge. You know, photography is all about light, especially here, light painting. So watch, lights on, lights off. That was funnier in my head actually. To prove that you don't need a $3,000 setup, I'm using my old Rebel T1i with the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens, a setup that's worth maybe $150 today. Can it produce good quality images? We're gonna find out. I'm even gonna try with my iPhone 11 Pro later and see if that works. All right, now let's talk about this setup. When you have your subject, and I'm gonna pretend that that's my subject, we're gonna focus with the camera and then switch it to manual focus, because if we try to take a picture in the dark, it's gonna switch and it's gonna go away. So remember to switch it from auto to manual. You don't want that hunting. Now, camera settings, we want darkness, so keep the ISO at 100 to keep it clean and dark. Aperture, start with f8 or f11. We want darkness and sharpness. The shutter speed, you can start with 5 seconds, and if you need more time, you can go to 15 or 30 or even 200 seconds. In total darkness, your shutter speed doesn't make a difference. It doesn't make the image brighter. It just gives you more time to move around and add light where you need it. Set the white balance to the light that you're gonna use to paint your subject. That way that's gonna be neutral. And make sure that you're shooting in RAW. We need all of the data we can get, especially if you're gonna try to be selling these photos for stock. All right, for the process, here's a $20. I'm gonna start with this flashlight. It's brighter and dim, so I can go bright, dim, and I can do flickers. So that $20 light, a $20 RGB light. Now, I love using the RGB light because in last week's video, one of my favorite images was a red drink with a greenish background. They're opposite colors in the color science, in the color wheel. They're complete opposites. So that ties the image together. That gives me a better composition. And if you're trying to sell stock photos, keeping color signs in the back of your head is gonna be way helpful. By the way, if you wanna learn about composition, color science, and everything I know about photography, I have a course. 15 years of experience condensed into short, easy, understandable lessons, and I'll put a link down here in the video description. How you move the light is totally up to you. You can go up and down, diffuse it, whatever you want to do, but remember, every stroke, it's light. If you overlap it, that's gonna be a point of intense light. So try not to overlap. Keep in mind where you're drawing so that that can be your design. And then if you want to diffuse it, you could, like I said, you could use anything you want. I like the plastic bag because it gives me layers of depth, different brightness in different areas, and I like that. Before I bring the drink, I want to make sure the background is ready to go. Get all the dust and everything, all the fingerprints. I have a microfiber cloth. Okay, I'm getting ready here. I've taped the trigger right here to the table so that I can just push the button and I know that it's gonna be taking a photo. I'm gonna go make a drink here in a second. Let me just adjust the lights, but I'm getting dressed and covering up so that nothing in my clothing is going to affect the lights. Now, I don't know if you can even see me. I don't know how dark it is in here yet. Okay, I got focus. It's a manual focus. I'm using this bag to diffuse the light. I have everything set. I'm gonna start with a 10-second exposure and let's see how it goes. Now, don't worry about the first few shots. If the photos are too bright, try dimming the light however way possible. If you have a dimmer, that's great. If not, try double bagging the light. That's a double diffuser. Or you can always use a smaller aperture. So if you're at f8, try f11 or f16. Now, if your photo is too dark, try a lighter aperture like f4, or pump up the ISO to ISO 200 or 400. If that doesn't work, you might need a brighter light, or maybe it's just too many levels of diffusion. Okay, I'm sweating in here. It's nice and warm, but here. So some of those photos I think look really, it's so old, it's not touchscreen. I forgot how to use it. They look really good. I'll have to pop it in the computer and see how they turn out, you know, actually, but here on the screen, they look really good. Now, the question is, can we do the same with the phone? All right, so this is my iPhone 11 Pro and it's older, but I have it on a tripod, flash off, and I'm gonna use a 10-second timer or night mode, whatever you call it. Keep in mind that phones use computational photography. They stack images. They take a whole bunch of pictures because they can't keep a shutter open like a camera does. So they do a whole bunch of pictures and then blend them together. which gives us less control. Now, the funny thing is we could choose to do the same thing with the camera. We can take a whole bunch of photos and then blend them in Photoshop, blend them in Photoshop, and then bring all of those as layers in Photoshop and paint them in manually. This gives us way more control when we're doing it instead of the phone doing it, but that's for another video. Okay, I'm gonna set the timer to 3 seconds, and I have it in night mode max, which should be 10 seconds. So let's go take a photo and see what comes out. Okay, so my calculations were a little bit off because the phone, when it does computational photography, it doesn't quite merge the images the right way. So because I have an iPhone, and it's an older iPhone at that, I use the live photo, which does a short video, very similar thing, and then I chose the long exposure. So look at that. That is straight out of the photo, out of the phone, which I'm actually impressed. I mean, it's not gonna be a stock photo, but that looks really cool. Okay, so I got some great shots with the Rebel T1i. I was actually impressed. And I got a couple of good ones too, using my phone, which it was really interesting. Now, obviously the camera did a little bit better, has more control, but the phone was still fun to play around with, and actually I learned something because I'd never done that before. But now it is time to switch to the Canon R5 that I'm using here to film the video and do the same settings, same lights, same everything. It's just that it's a better camera. I mean, the reason is better dynamic range. Since I want to sell these photos in stock agencies, I want the highest quality possible, especially when it comes to editing. But remember, photography is all about the camera. Here's a photo from the camera. No camera. Technically, that one has infinite dynamic range, but I don't think Adobe Stock is ready for that yet. If I missed any steps, be sure to let me know here in the comments, and also let me know how your photos turned out. Tag me on Instagram at @Wollertz. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.